Hey guys, welcome back to the live stream tonight. We are working on the Ford Transit van and the Adventure Wagon install. So we're going to hop over inside the van to the second camera and we will get going here. Before I hop over there, I'm going to mention this a couple times. Make sure you guys put your questions in the comments. So tonight I'll be working on the van, like I just said, but I want you guys to put some comments, put some questions in there in the chat, and I'll get up from the van, I'll hop over here, answer those, and kind of keep going back and forth. So that's kind of what we're wanting to do tonight. So let's hop over in the van and let's get started. All right, so tonight we're working inside the van. Yesterday, if you guys joined the stream, we worked on this side over here. We were cutting our sound deadening material, and then we were also installing our 3M Thinsulate material. We also went through the whole entire lower section of insulation and we organized it. So when you get it from Adventure Wagon, it's kind of organized, but I've had this over in the corner of the shop on pause and it was not organized. So yesterday we went through all the numbers and we ordered everything so that today we can just hop in here, we'll cut our sound deadening, we'll put the driver's side lower in first, and then we'll come over here to the passenger side. We'll put that in there. And then fingers crossed, we will be getting to some other materials. Maybe these side pieces, and then we may get to the headliner. So we'll see what we get to. But yeah, I'm looking forward to you guys. Questions in the comments. I can see it right over here. I'll hop up on the computer and answer those as soon as I see them come in. But yeah, let's go ahead and get started. So let's see if I can move the camera over here. We're just going to zoom in. I'm going to change it so I don't give you guys motion sickness. We'll just hop over here. Like I said, we're going to start over on this corner. All right, that looks good to me. I'll also talk to you about kind of future plans and what we're doing. So we've got a couple of things that we're doing in here. This window is one of them. But what I'm going to do, I'm going to go ahead and grab my board, my cutting board, and bring it over here. And then what we're going to do is we're just going to take this out in reverse order so that we don't get disorganized once again. So as far as the Adventure Wagon goes, this is the easiest part. Once you've made it this far, you're doing pretty good. Installing the orange truss system was very challenging. Pretty much any type of work you do above your head is really difficult. So any of my DIYers out there, you guys understand, if you're working on drywall or you're working on a ceiling fan or something like that, it is tough. Yeah, it's just something about working over your head. And speaking of working smart, let me see if I can find my little knee pad. Yeah, the goal with these live streams, especially the ones where I'm doing the live builds, is to get some momentum on this build before Thomas's comes back. His will be coming back probably the week of January 8th. It's going to come back in the shop, and we've got a couple more upholstered panels that we got to put together on his van. All right, looks like I'm not I'm not using my pad tonight. So let's see how that framing looks. Looks pretty good. You guys can see. Actually, let me get my phone because I can see the chats in there. Okay, cool. Just double checking on the focus here. Yeah, I'm pretty excited about this format. It's essentially like a TV show. It's pretty fun. So just like last night, if you guys weren't here or you're just watching this, we're taking our piece of sound deadening and we're just gonna kind of eyeball it and get our, just a crease. This does not have to be perfect. You want to put as much in there as you can, but it does not have to be perfect. And again, what the sound deadening does is, it's just like it sounds. It deadens the sound. So we're taking the vibration out of the van, and we're making sure it's nice and quiet. It's more for road noise. However, let's say that you are, at a campsite or whatever. It's going to, actually, you know what? I'm not sure how much it's going to help at a campsite. I was just thinking of what Thomas and I were talking about having a lot of glass in your van. It's really easy to hear everyone. So I'm gonna have to walk that one back. But really, it dampens the when you're driving. I'd say that's the main benefit here. Just make sure you're taking your roller and rolling this in when you can. I know you can't do it everywhere, but you want to do it where you can. Makes the adhesive work really well. This stuff is super sticky, so even if you don't press it in really, really good, you're gonna be okay. I could see a situation where if you didn't roll it or press it really hard in the tight spots, that it's possible, it could peel off when the van gets really hot. You would not believe how hot the inside of a van that's not ventilated gets. So just something to keep a thought on. Also, depending on how much ventilation you have in your van, I just had this thought, running the refrigerator, it might be best to, if you're not going to be in the van for a long period of time, just make sure you keep your fridge off, just so it's not overworking or working really hard to cool itself down when it's in a 180-degree van. And like I was saying earlier, we have these, we've got these scraps. So when you get to these locations, make sure you get your scraps out and use them for these tight spots. You'll never make a bad cut. You can always use this in some area of the van. So we got one more piece here. I'm gonna have to tend to Nova in just a second. I think her ball is underneath the van. All right, we got one more piece over here. Then we're going to go back and fill everything in with the insulation. Also, when you're putting this in, make sure you're not allowing bubbles to form. It's not the end of the world, but don't want bubbles. And also, when you're coming back and forth, be careful for cutting your hand, because I did it about 3 times yesterday. As much as I told you guys to be careful. Okay, got these done. These are our scraps. So we're going to come over here and we're going to look at these numbers just to double check. So we have 1A, and so that was our front piece. So I think we have 8 chambers in here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And then these 2 sections right here, this is the 1.5 and the 2.5. Just like I said yesterday, you can pinch this with your finger and shake it to fluff it up. Just remember, air is how insulation works. It's the pockets of air within the fiberglass insulation, the Havelock wool, that air space, or where the air is trapped, that is what gives it its insulative value. So now what we need to do is, don't use this yet. We need to make sure we've got our 1.5s. And so this one, we got a skinny one and one that's a little bit bigger. So we're going to put the skinny one towards the front and the bigger one towards the back. And this one, just be really careful. You're going into the heart of the sheet metal. You can help yourself by just pulling it on the bottom. And then once you got it, you can come and then stuff it back up in the top. And the guys at Adventure Wagon, they cut these things extremely precise. So if something looks like it doesn't fit, you probably got it in the wrong spot. Also, the title of this video, I know it's a little weird, not the live shop part, but the 3.1 Adventure Wagon install 3.1. So the reason is I made a part 1, I made a part 2, and both of those videos are up and live. However, part 3 did not get finished. This is pretty much part 3. So there's a little bit of video you guys didn't see, but don't worry, it will be up soon. And so this will be like a 3.1. If we don't finish this bottom, tomorrow will be like 3.2. That way, people that have not seen this, they can kind of go back and watch in order. All right, so we've got these 2 pieces. If you can notice, see how this one is longer? I mean, it's higher. Well, yeah, longer. There's a step right here. So the longer one goes up in the step. I can actually put my hand back behind here. So this one will go right here. You kind of bend down and then do this. Pop it up in there. Just be careful. And then we'll take this piece and we're going to put it right here on the front side. And then again, you're going to pinch it and just shake. Make sure we get that nice and fluffed out. I was contemplating actually doing this side until I got the window finished, but what I'm going to do is I'm just going to put these in here to get them organized. This stuff is really easy to pull out, so it's more for you guys in the video, just kind of keep the continuity. But I will have to take these out when I cut this window, because there'll be a little bit of metal filings that I want to catch. And so what I do is I put a bunch of tape down here, and then when I cut the window out, I'll come back in, I'll vacuum, and then blow it all out with air just to get my metal filings off. All right, coming back, and we've got our 2.5s. Again, this one does the same thing. There's a higher one and a lower one. So I'm gonna stuff the higher one in first. And with this, it's always easier, just in my opinion, to do one at a time. You could do a couple at a time, I'm guessing, but I've not found that to be easier. This one is the same thing. There's a channel that goes up here in the back. These are kind of hard to fluff out, so just, get them in a good spot. And then we'll come in with our last two pieces. So again, the higher one goes first. And this is a big guy, so this actually goes behind this section. Yeah, but it's really easy to put in. So I don't have the panel. I wonder if I can get the panel easy. Let's check it out. Yep, it's just over here. So we're gonna walk over here and grab the other panel. So this is the passenger one. So we want to look for the driver forward. Here we go. Hopefully that's not too loud. Again, these are all pre-cut. So all you have to do is just put it over here and pop it in. And you want to keep these pieces of L-track really, really loose, so you can actually slide this into place. Because this is gonna hold this in a couple different places. So the first place it's holding it in is going to be this top side. They've got some bolts down here for the bottom part of the panel, and then they have a channel up here for the second piece. There'll be a strip down here to hold these two pieces in. So you can remove the panels, but it is a little bit of a puzzle when you need to do that, because everything does double duty. This one holds two panels, this holds two. So hopefully when I come over here, when we work our way over here, as this build progresses in the next couple weeks, when we cut this window out, we have a bump out. And so if you don't buy a bump out, or you weren't considering buying one, you can buy one from Adventure Wagon, and they'll mail it to you. And you can have them upholster it, which takes quite a long time. They've got a pretty big queue. But what you can do, and well, what I did, since I love upholstering things, is I bought a bump out. So it's the same type of kind of thermoformed bump out as the back that was already upholstered. So you can see this goes up here. I'm just going to temporarily hold this in because I don't have the top piece. But I mean, this is what's so cool. So what's going to happen is I'm going to cut the window out. And I mean, cut the side of the van out. So once I cut the van out, what I'm going to do is I'm going to install everything here, all this, so that it's in its home position. I'm going to go on the back side and I'm going to trace this piece. It's possible that I actually might cut it while it's in place, because this is going to hold it very well. So I might do that actually. Let me get this out of the way. Yeah, don't lose the screws. Like I was almost losing something yesterday. All right, so see the bump out comes in here. So I'm gonna bolt it in, and then I'll trace and draw. And now when the van's cut out first, this will be cut out second. And when those both things happen, what's cool is I'll take this back out. I'll fully upholster this with the heather gray fabric that I ordered extra. And then I'll put the CRL window in here as if this piece was part of the window. That's my plan. This is thin enough to where I don't think we'll have any problem with that. So you'll have to stay tuned for that, because that'll make a cleaner install than if I overcut this and have to have some raggedy edge. But I haven't done it yet, so you'll just have to stay tuned for the next episode. All right, so let's go ahead and put this down. We're gonna hop in the other side. Don't worry, I will move the camera here in just a second. Trying to make it so my head's not cut off. That's not bad. And might change it up here. I think I'm going to do the soundproofing, and then I'm going to put the insulation in, just kind of work my way forward. Let's see if we can get this one in. Yep, that's perfect. Now I've done this a bunch of times. I'm not saying I'm perfect, but if you're a beginner, it's easier to just fold this back. So just fold this back like this, put it up in there, and then when you get it in there, peel it off. Because what will happen is you might bump into something and it gets stuck. And it's possible that I could be doing that right now. So, but I won't because I've done it before. And then just take your hand and go down the center first. And then you want to go kind of make like an X pattern. It can be peeled back like that. It doesn't like to do that. But if you haven't pushed it really hard, you might have a chance to save it. So one of my plans was to get the GoPro up and running so that you guys kind of had a first-person view, but I'm having issues with the power keeps cutting off, so gotta fix that before I can do what I wanted to do. But this camera I'm using, it's really, really nice. So I think it looks pretty good. Let's see, let's get a little more light on me. There you go. There's a big opening in the bottom here, so I'm just pulling it up from the bottom. Now you will have a couple of wires in here. And if you don't have to move them, don't move them. It's not going to be a huge downside to your insulative properties or whatever you want to say. So like there's a cable here, but I don't want to mess with this mount because it's possible that once I get done and the van's on the road, it can start rubbing against something, and since I moved it, now I've moved it to a place where it actually is going to get cut. So just something to think about. All right, just give it a little shake. So that's good. What you can also do is, this one went okay. There's a wire right here. So what I might do is, it's okay for the back one. The problem is the front. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put in sound deadening right here. So this is a good size piece. Okay. And down here, there's really no flat place to put it, so this sound deadening strip right there works. You guys can't see that, but trust me. So this panel, let's see, so these two, we got a bigger one and a smaller one. We're going to put the bigger one in the back. So this front one was passenger low 4A, 4B. This is passenger low 5A, 5B. So I forgot to call those out for you guys. And so this one's kind of sitting here. This second one I'm gonna have it sit right here. So that way I don't have to cut it. And it's possibly that's why that they cut these the way they did. It's okay, I'll get the camera back on 1 second. Dun, dun, dun. We're back. All right, that section done. Moved over here, this section done. Trucking along. This next one is really hard to get a piece of sound deadening in here, so the harder spots, again, you gotta be really careful not to cut yourself. Let's see. I'm gonna try to make this piece work in there. It's right above the wheel well. See if I can do it. One place you really want to put the sound deadening is over this cavity right here. I mean, really cover this guy as much as you can. Not layers, but just what I'm talking about is if you had a piece like this, you know, put it in and then kind of adhere it over like this and just cover the whole thing. Really dampen that sound. Because the roar kind of comes from here. It's not necessarily from there. And here we got two pieces. So the back side is the bigger one. The front will be the skinnier one. So we got low 6A going to the back and low 6B going to the front. And I fold it like this and it kind of opens up when it gets on the inside. Be careful not to cut yourself. I still shake it to make sure it gets, you know, fluffed up. Besides that window over here, I don't anticipate using any of these chambers in here to run anything because it's so sharp. You really got to make sure that your wires are really taken care of. All right, we're getting closer over here. So let's go ahead and put these down. Yeah, and when you get back here with all these wires, it's just hard. So we're just going to do one strip here and then one strip here. Nothing too crazy. Just do a little visual. So I'm probably going to cut my long one first. So this is going to go here. And then this one we can't use, but only probably this much. So right there. And if I have any other additional insulation, so like right here, I can fit a piece, so I'll probably cut a piece and put it right here. I want to make sure this side is really insulated well, because this is where the water tank's going to go. All right, that is the insulation for that, the sound deadening. So now let's just put these two pieces. We've got passenger low 7B and 7A. And I feel like these were numbered wrong, because I need extra insulation over here, and these fit this area better. And then these fit this, because we're going to put this here. So, see what I'm talking about? There's no rules. You can flip it around. Yeah, common sense. Just, if it looks like a better option, just do it. So now that I am putting this in here, what I'm going to have to do is I'm going to measure with my finger, and then right here I'm going to take my razor, I'm going to score straight down. A sharp razor. Hold on, Nova. It's actually better to use scissors when you need to cut it. Just don't have those with me at the moment. Then you can just kind of stuff this back in here. All right, so this is going to come over the wire. You can straddle the wire. That way I can pull it down on either side. All right, here's that. And then we pop this up. All right, look at that. So I'm not sure why they put the labels on like that, because this one definitely goes there. You break off of one of your razor blades, just be very careful. Don't put it somewhere where your knee can step on it. All right, now we're making our way to the back. You see we've got one piece that's high, a little bit thicker. And that thicker one's usually going to go on the back side. Yeah, they must have just put the wrong sticker on these, because this one definitely goes right here. What you need, Nova? Okay, we just got 2 more pieces left, and then we'll move to a different area of the van. Actually, I'm gonna try to get another piece right up in there. Also consider that you're going to put a shore power plug in here. And if you put a shore power plug in here, then don't put this on there because it'll gum up your hole saw. So just a heads up tip for you. Here we go. So we've got that whole side finished, and just like the other side, there's a panel for this side. Not going to put that on there yet because I have, well, you know what, let's just put it on. You got this far. So there we go, our custom cutout piece. What was cool is I used this as a template for Thomas's van to cut out his Rigahexa. So there we go. All right, look at that. We've got the bottom of the van insulated. So let's check that off of our list. We'll call that a win. And we need to go into, go over here and check the chat. We don't have any questions in the chat. We need some questions. Get some questions in there. They can be Adventure Wagon install related or anything else. Yeah, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to get the piece that goes up here. That's a really challenging piece. So I'm going to see what options I have for that. So I'll move the camera, just do a wide angle here really quick. Yeah, but I don't see your ball. All right, here we go. And I like this view, the Adventure Wagon view right here. I guess my mic's cut off. Let's see, here we go. Yep, that's a super cool view. So check that out. Yeah, I mean, that's what I love about the Adventure Wagon kit, is that it's so it's nice. It's nice. All right, let's check this out. We've got, there's a couple panels over here. We've got, there's one right here that Adventure Wagon, this is actually where they do their main wire harness. So if you got the kit where they pre-plugged the panels and the lights, it'll all be wired into a little, like a little sub panel over here. So that's where this is. Over here on the top, we've already got this pulled down. I want to be very careful. These plastic pieces are just almost like super glued to this, so they rip off very easy. Two of them did not rip off, but one did. And you want to do that so that you have access to put this piece in. And then over here on the right hand side, or the passenger side, we have the same thing. And so what I'm going to do is this will be a short stream tonight. From here on out, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to talk about the additional pieces that are going to be going in. So we'll catch that on the next stream. So I'm going to grab the box and show you what the next step's going to be. But this is one of those pieces, so see how complex this piece is? I mean, it's pretty incredible what they do. But this one, you zoom in, let's come over here, I can show you guys. So this is gonna go, this one panel will come in here. Now this is a factory airbag. So this goes, it just kind of curves around all of this material here. There is a piece of foam from the factory. And they don't mention anything about cutting that piece of foam, but you're gonna have to, yeah, that's why I wanna plan this a little bit better for the next stream so I can give you guys a better process to do this. There's a foam block right here that looks like we're going to have to trim off this headliner cover. And then over here, see. This is going to go behind this panel. Like that. Yeah. Yeah, that's definitely going to have to be trimmed. I did not hear them mentioning that in the video. So there's a little foam block that keeps this from going all the way up and bumping. So that foam block is going to have to be taken about a 1 inch, 3/4 to 1 inch is going to have to be taken off. So this will go here. And then you can see once this is in, that little fin from this bump out will actually go right here, which is pretty nice. And then that wild headliner I was talking about goes from here to here. That one is pretty. That one's pretty wild. So we're going to do this one next time. We'll come back here and there's a rear cap. So this cap, this right here, so this piece right here, this goes up underneath this. So your door latches are right here. This is where your door latches go. I know you can't see it, but this flips around. And then this will just install just like that. And you do have some cables that are going to be passing through here. So this one, yeah, this will be more involved. So I'll make sure I set this all up before the stream. We'll have to remove this rubber gasket in order to put this piece on. So when we remove this rubber gasket, we'll be able to do this left side over the passenger side up to the top. The other thing is now we have to consider our air conditioning cabling, because the way that this goes in, instead of going up in it by itself, here, gotta figure out how to explain this to you guys. We're gonna have to get the GoPro out. That's about the only way. All right, let's go over to the computer. Let's talk a bit. Okay, so I wanted to get a little bit further tonight on the stream. But what we need to do is, let's go over to the drawing pad. Let's get an action plan over here. Because I think what we're going to have to do is we're going to have to take the panels out and install the AC unit first. I mean, it won't be here for a month. But we got about 2 to 3 weeks on Thomas's van to finish up. So all right, so what we have is we got the rear of the van, and there's trim strip that has to be removed. The problem that I'm running into is this cap that goes in the back has to go under the panels of the van. So that's how they designed it to be hidden right there. So when you're looking at it, so that's a little complex. Now, if you weren't installing wiring, electrical, AC, stuff like that, you would just put the system in and you'd be done. But what we're doing is we're kind of modifying the system. So not only was the main reason to get the system the safety aspect and the just the quality to detail, but it was more to get the interior going quickly, so we had a base to work off of. And then when we come back in, because for example, over here on this side, when we put the shower in, so let me go up here. So the shower will be probably right here. So see where that tape is? So where that tape is where the shower wall is going to be. And then the bed will come back. The bed will come back this way. So up here, we've got this L track here and up there. So that L track is actually going to be cut. So we'll miter saw that L track off. And we're only going to leave, 48 inches of L track. And that 48 inches of L track is going to hold a flatline Vanco roof rack. Good Lord. Flatline Vanco shelf. So we're going to go with flatline Vanco. Then we're going to go to, well, let's get you guys on the screen here. All right, flatline Vanco. We've used them for the roof rack and the ladder. If you go to van parts, go to Venture Wagon compatible parts. They have these. They've got a mattress system and a transit bed system that works in conjunction with the Adventure Wagon kit. Now, Adventure Wagon sells their own, proprietary to the system one, but these are just another option. So I'm getting one of each of these. So this 48-inch upper cabinet is going to go just like that. So you see where the L track is in the ceiling? So the cabinet will mount to that. It's really cool. Check it out. So this is not a good example. Okay, so you see these this L track mount. So the cabinet goes up against the wall, and then you bolt it in with this L track mount. And then on the back side, you have these slots. So that is the second part of L track. So as you guys can see in the van, how there's by the bamboo, there's one long piece of L track, and then over the window, there's another long piece of L track. That is in conjunction with this. This is the bottom one, this is the top one, and this is the bottom one. Yeah, so we'll essentially have 6 feet worth of cabinet space storage in the van. There'll be a 2-foot over the fold-up seat. So there'll be, what hand am I using here? So right here, the 24-inch one is going to go right there. And then we're going to have the shower. And then back here in the back is the 48-inch shelf, or cabinet. Yeah, so that is, I'll get off of there. Yeah, so that's what we're going to be using. And then they also have some L-track tie downs if you guys need some. They don't have a transit shelf. I'd like for them to have a shelf because Van Wife Components, I don't think they sell that shelf anymore. Everybody really liked that, but it's not for sale anymore. Anyway, we will continue. Double check the chat. All right, nobody's in the chat. We're going to catch you guys tomorrow. We're going to do another 7:30 live stream. So catch us tomorrow here, 7:30. We'll be doing the same thing on the Adventure Wagon, but we'll be prepped with that gasket off the back. We'll get 2 pieces, the front headliner part in, and then we'll also work on the passenger side over the door. And yeah, we'll get this Adventure Wagon kit checked off the list. It doesn't mean we're going to be not taking it apart again. That is the theme of a van build. Put it together, take it apart. Put it together, take it apart. But yeah, I'm looking forward to your question and comments tomorrow at the live stream. So we'll see you guys tomorrow night, 7:30.